to learn to be independent and be encouraged to do so. From a very young age, where men are taught that, you're going to be the man of the family and you have to, obviously look after your family financially and stuff. They work towards that, whereas women, their only ability, we're only, encouraged to be nurturing, to, look after the house, learn how to cook, the usual stuff that you find everywhere. But never are we taught to, be financially independent, how we can work on our money without having to depend on someone else. So basically what we do is go from our parents' home to living with your husband, and you're never free, you don't actually have financial independence. And it's something that I want us to break that, and I need us to start educating our children on not just how to manage their money from a very young age, but also that marriage isn't the only way out, financially. It's not the only way out, especially not for women, because this usually tends to lead to very sticky situation for women. A lot of things happen in women's life that, we find ourselves in very troubled situation where either, your husbands leave you, or maybe you lose your husband and you're stuck because you don't have any spare money. We don't know how to manage our money, or we've never really worked towards having our own businesses, our own independent financial independence, and it can be quite a really hard and sticky situation that we get stuck on for a very long time. I believe that educating our young women from a very young age, how to manage your money from the time you earn your first wages to the point where you eventually get married, and not stopping there. It has to continue. We don't have to wait until we get married and then stop working and stop being financially independent, because you don't know what the future is going to bring. I know from personal experience, for example, in my family, my dad had a very good job. He worked and he was supporting the family financially. It was all good. And then once this job started going down, his career started going down, my mom was left to pick up the pieces. Luckily, she learned how to sew. She wanted to do something on the side. So through my mom's work, where she was able to support the family. So even if you're lucky enough to have a good husband, or to meet someone, who's willing to support you financially, a good husband who will give you the world, you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know about the future, and we never ever prepare for the future. And that's a very big problem in the African community. Families don't tend to have savings for a rainy day. It's just not taught. I'm not quite sure why. We're learned to make money, but we're taught to make money, but we're not taught to keep and grow money. It's not something that we know much about. We don't know about investing money in other businesses or creating smaller businesses on the side for ourselves, apart from the very successful job that we have. We always tend to rely in that one specific job. If you grow up, you get a really good job, we tend to stick to that, and that's it. We usually, when you get your day-to-day job or your day job, that money, you're only able to pay your bills. We never think about how can I use the wages that I get to make even more money out of it and grow and get richer. We also have issues with trying to keep up with the Joneses. So keeping up with the Joneses is, you look at what someone else's has and you're like, I want that as well. And with women especially, it becomes a very competitive thing, because all we want to do is look like the other woman who's dress well. She's got the latest designer stuff, clothes, shoes, bags, hair, whatever, you name it, latest mobile phone. But what we're not taught is that to be able to afford these things, you should be able to earn that money. Life is hard. Life is getting very, very expensive. It's not like in the old days where people used, you'll get married and all it was make sure you feed your children, you dress them, and they go to school, and that was it. Now there's a lot involved. We have expensive gadgets, that every household basically needs to live in this very technology-led world. And children will want mobile phones, you want mobile phones, you want nice stuff, a nice house, a nice car, and all these things. And we're trying to keep with all these, expensive things. We end up having nothing. So your day job doesn't actually, you can't actually afford to keep, to raise some money, or to keep some money, do some saving, or to keep up with what's going on at the moment. So I think, teaching young girls from a very young age how women should grow, and putting in their heads that, it's okay for them to study as well, to get a good job, and to invest in other things. It's a very, very important subject to start discussing within families. And that marriage is not your only way out. I remember when I was young, I was still at university. Well, I'm still young, obviously, but when I was in university, I remember one day I was very, very stressed because of, assignments and all that stuff. And I was really emotional, really, I had a part-time job and, all these assignments to do. And I was quite emotional and very, very stressed because I couldn't get to the deadline. I didn't think I was going to make the deadline. And a close friend of my mom, a lady, she actually told me, don't worry, you're a woman, you don't need to worry about these things. I mean, I was quite shocked, and I didn't know what to answer back because I couldn't believe what she was saying. She said, you're a woman, don't worry about it. For me, it was just such a degrading thing to say to a young girl who's trying to work hard and, be an independent woman, because she has 2 daughters of herself. And she came to Europe when she was very, very young, and she never really made anything of her life because, she had this thing in her head, the husband will do everything. And that was the kind of negative mentality that she was raising her children to be. I wonder, till this day, whether that's what she tells her daughters now, because they're young women now, they're probably in their 20s. I wonder whether there's something that she still tells her young daughters, don't worry about anything, be lazy, just sit there, don't worry about anything, wait until some man will come and marry you. We all know there are terrible, terrible things that can happen in the future, and we cannot just rely on, having someone else to, pay for everything for us. It's important. African women are very, very talented. We are very intelligent as well. So we can do this on our own. I'm not saying don't get married, don't treat men well because you're financially independent. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it's important to have your own safety net to fall on in case something happens. My mom has always said, it's nice to have these nice things or have someone look after you, but it's also nice to be able to have a safety net to fall on. Educating women in finance and how to manage their money, it's something that we should really start looking at, in our culture, and encouraging women to look into how they can manage their finance. Even, not just women actually, even young men. because it's so, so important in this fast-paced world and trying to keep with everything that's coming out and how the world is running and living a comfortable life. It's so easy to just spend your money, your wages on, you know, the little that you earn on everything just to be able to keep up with everything that's going on around us. Another thing I think that we should think about is teaching young women or young people as well on, you know, what their priorities should be when it comes to spending money. We get so stuck from a young age. We want to have nice phones. You know, for young girls, I know you want to have your nails done, your hair done, and you've got the makeup, and all these things are so, so expensive when we really look at it. That's why they say women are so expensive, because when you put all these things together, they're not cheap things to be able to afford. And if you don't prioritize what's important to you and learn how to manage your money, then you're always going to struggle. You know, I say if you can't manage £1, then you can't manage £10,000. It does not make a difference of how much you have. What makes a difference on how much we earn or how we survive or how we make money is how we spend, our mentality on how we spend the money that we have. So women out there, young girls, stop thinking that marrying a man is your only way out, you know, to have a successful or comfortable financial life. You can do it on your own. And even if you get a wonderful man who will support you financially, it's always good to have something on the side for yourself. Even if it's a small business, it could be the smallest business in the world. If it's bringing in some money, some sort of money, it is good. It is good. I know now that, you know, I know a lot of young women who are running their own small businesses, you know, like cooking food, for example, African food, because they know there aren't many, you know, especially for the young single men in the Western world, you know, they don't have the time to cook. You know, they want to go to work and all that stuff. And African food takes such a long time to cook. I know that. I myself tend not to even cook them so much because there's just no time. And what they do, they cook for the men, you know, or women. Even myself, I buy food, cook food from, you know, from young women who are willing to do that as a business. So just having that little money on the side, even if you have your financial comfort life, having a safety net can save you from so much trouble in the future or for a rainy day, as I say. So we need to learn, you know, get education. There's so much information out there about managing your finances and, you know, how to make money and grow money, not just make money, but how to grow and keep it so you can get to that point where you're absolutely comfortable in your finances. There's so much information, but the difficult part is putting it to practice. So if you've come from a background where there is never any limit, it's just spend, spend, spend. If you get something, you go out and you buy. I know I went through a stage where when I was young, I couldn't see any money left in my bank account. I would literally, if I was getting close to payday and there was over £300-400 left in my account, I felt like, oh, I'm rich, I have to go and spend this. You know, I never used to think about, let me just save it. Let me just save it, or if I have to spare money, what can I, where can I spend it on? Like, you know, can I invest it in some business? What can I do for myself? And also, we need to think like, you know, going to university is not the only way for, you know, for a successful financial life. We think that, you know, the only way you can succeed in life financially is through going to university. There are other ways And I'll talk about that in more depth next week. There are other ways, so especially when you live in the UK, for example, there's so many courses in colleges, short courses that can help you get, get the skills that you need to get into a certain field without the need to actually go to university and have a lifelong debt that's almost impossible to pay, because it becomes like a bill in your life. It becomes like electric bills once you start paying. So, just invest either in a business or in yourself. Look at the stock market. I don't know much about the stock market. I'm still learning myself, but don't be afraid to look into these things. These are not stuff that are limited just for men. Women can do it as well. So if you've got spare money and you're not sure what to do, don't go and spend it in designer, expensive things just so you can, I know it feels good to wear something nice or carry around something nice and expensive, but if you can't keep it, if you can't afford it, there's just no point. You are better off investing in something that will bring you more money rather than wasting it on designer stuff, clothing or bags or shoes, whatever it is that people like buying now. And we all have this urge to trying to show off and trying to keep up with the Joneses that you can afford, but really, when we really look into people's lives, we tend to see that they are struggling, because you're really trying to keep up with these, keep up with the Joneses. You're trying to keep up with your friends, but your friend is making money, so she can actually afford to buy these expensive things. But instead, look at how we can spend the money in investment or investing on yourself. What extra skills can you learn or gain, and maybe grow a small business of your own, on the side, and that can bring you extra money. So I've got a book here about a Nigerian lady. Her name is Aris Ugwu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her last name properly. She's a graduate. She had a master's in economic development, and she studied in University College of London, as well as a bachelor's in business and management from Aston College in Birmingham. And she's been so successful in her career. In the last couple of years, she's written 2 books. So one of them is The Smart Money Woman, An African Girl's Journey to Financial Freedom. I've had a look at this book. I've not read it fully myself, but they're really, really good books. And the other one, the first one, the one that I've just mentioned, was out in 2016. And the second one that just came out recently is The Smart Money Tribe, An African Woman's Guide to Making Bank. So, she's someone who knows about she studied economic, and she knows about, finance, about managing finance. She had to do it herself as a single mother. She had to learn the hard way herself. So I think it's really important to have a look at these 2 books. They're, very based in African culture as well. So it's something that we can all relate to. So have a read of these books and, enjoy and, do more research and how, you can make more money as a single woman. And also, very, very important, one thing that the author Aris Ugwu told, she said to women in one of her interviews, was that people tend to wait until they start having a family when they start thinking about saving and stuff. But instead of waiting until they start when you're younger. So this is what I'm saying. We need to start teaching our children or ourselves as well from when we're young, before we get to starting a family, because it's even harder when you have someone to feed and someone to look after. So when you're on your own, when you're starting your career, when you start earning a little bit of money, that little bit of money, use it to invest in something. Look at business or how you can use to grow even more money. Don't just go wasting. I know you want to live life, and we should, and enjoy, but never ever forget that it's better if you can produce more money. We need to learn about how to manage our finances. And also, never ever get credit cards. Credit cards are your worst enemies, because literally you will spend your life paying off that credit card that made you feel like you had money. That money is not yours, and it's not worth it. Never ever ever ever, no matter what people tell you, no matter what they tell you, do not get a credit card, because you spend your time paying off the money that you've used from that credit card, rather than either saving it for yourself or investing it in something better, to produce more money. So we need to learn about saving money, always have a savings account, and also, growing money, how to invest, how to make business. So we need to start studying this and encouraging young women to be more independent financially. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk today. Please leave some comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe on our channel, Venix TV. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso. Usala kilikolo na maele na yo. Usalinga moto nelilingi na yo. Na pesa yo nini na masosali na ngai. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Ndeko na bankolo uzanzambe malamu namoni te waza ilokola yo. Bana Israele katina desert bayokaki nzala okitisaki mana baliaki ye. Yango bayokaki posa ya mai obimisaki mai na libanga bamelaki. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Qui est comme toi parmi les dieux, ô Éternel? Qui est comme toi, magnifique à sainteté, digne de louange, opéra de prodiges, kumisa malayo, sanzola malayo. Alléluia. Kumisama, sanzola malayo, kumisama, sanzambe kofukama mpe minoko nyonso eza kotatola yesu masi azali nkolo ozana bomoi ozana bomoi namoni yo na libota na ngai namoni yo na bomoi na ngai yawe
Hosanna, Hosanna, Alléluia, Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna,
Hosanna,
Hosanna, Alléluia, Hosanna,
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 esima
Hosanna,
bana Israel nzambe yo fongolaki mai ya rouge bango batraversaki asek nde naza lokola yo opimisaki mai na desert yo okitaki mana bango baliaki basepelaki ntango bamonaki mana Hosanna yo nde liki ya bato balemba yo nde makasi nkolo ya bato balembi yo nde nkolo na bankolo yo nde otiaka nzela meme na desert oza nzambe malamu oza nzambe malamu oyo nyonso ataela yo nzambe ye ayokisamaka esengo c'est toi qui dis un mot et la chose s'accomplit oza nzambe oza redoutable
Quand je pense à ton nom et ce que tu as fait à la croix, tu as pris mon fardeau, tu t'es donné un sacrifice pour que moi j'ai la vie. Je trouve les chemins, la vérité. Non, 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 je ne peux plus porter seul mon fardeau. Non, 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 je ne peux plus être encore esclave du péché. Les souffrances de ma vie, à la croix je les amène. Les montagnes sur mon chemin, devant toi je les dépose. Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas. Tu prends soin de tes enfants, je choisis Jésus. Lorsque j'étais enfant, j'ai parlé comme un enfant. J'ai pensé, raisonné, comme un enfant, je faisais tout. Une fois devenu adulte, je me suis défait de cela. À tous ceux qui l'ont reçu comme Seigneur et comme Sauveur, tu les as donné le pouvoir de devenir enfants de Dieu. Non, 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 je ne peux plus rentrer dans ma vie d'avant. Non, 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 je ne peux plus servir de maître à la fois. Mon combat de tous les jours, c'est de vivre dans ta crainte. Les erreurs de mon passé, que ton sang les efface. Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas. vis dans ta crainte. Chaque fois que je tombe par terre, c'est parce que je regarde partout. Je veux vivre comme Jésus. Je veux vivre comme mon Seigneur. Je veux être comme Jésus tous les jours de ma vie. Je veux vivre comme Jésus. Je veux vivre comme mon Seigneur. Je veux être comme Jésus tous les jours de ma vie. À celui qui est ferme dans ses